Hey, it's Bill Simmons from the Bill Simmons Podcast. Games get 10 times better when Michelob Ultra is on the line, so race to the bottom of a slope. Winner gets an Ultra. Or enter at michelobultra.com/ultra instructor for a chance to win tickets to the hottest sporting events of 2026. Michelob Ultra, Ultra Instructor, no purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents 21 plus. Begins on January 30th, 2026. Ends on February 22nd, 2026. See official rules at michelobultra.com/rules for free entry deadlines, prizes, and details.
Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccer rules.
Hi, I'm Lila Fear.
And I'm Lewis Gibson, and you're listening to Anything But Footy.
With the latest on the Winter Olympics.
It's opening ceremonies day, I should say. Another Olympics is here, and so are we. I'm John.
And I'm Michael, and this is the latest Milano Daily from Anything But Footy, talking about the Olympics and the Paralympics all the time, not just once every 4 years.
3,500 athletes, 92 nations, 53 from Team GB, who have competed at every single Olympics ever.
In fact, hold that, because we're going to fire some more stats and some more facts at you during this episode of the podcast, so you can impress your friends tonight whilst watching the opening ceremonies.
Well, with curling and snowboarding and all the latest results, plus a roundup of the rest of the news from the games, and there's more pizza chat from Team GB as well, as you'd expect. This is Milano Daily from Anything But Footy. Download, listen and follow, and pass it on to your friends after you've impressed them tonight with the facts and stats. And there's more episodes to come this winter.
Hi, I'm Chris McCormick. You're listening to Anything But Footy with the latest on the Winter Olympics.
So Team GB made it 3 wins from 3 in the mixed doubles curling, a third win, 8-7 against Czechia after a checkered first end. It was frankly just what was needed from Bruce Mower and Jen Dodds, because Jen admitted afterwards we probably had to play ugly sometimes, and that was probably that match. Bruce admitted he's struggling to figure out the ice as well, and said that Jen is playing amazing. I just need to help her a little. So that, look, 3 wins out of 3, they are doing incredibly well. Also last night, Canada upset the home favourites and defending champions Italy 7-2, and that was Italy's first ever Winter Olympic defeat. 23 matches they've been unbeaten. USA also unbeaten, but have played only twice so far. There are more matches on day 0 for Team GB curlers. In fact, you have information.
Breaking news, 4 wins from 4 for Bruce and Jen. They have beaten the Swedes 7-4. On the mixed doubles round robin match day 3, and they are back again this afternoon to face Korea. But it's all going pretty well, I think, so far for the guys. Elsewhere, Chemamaze Brown misses out on a place in the big air final after qualifying last night. A superb 84.25 scored in his second run. That propelled him into the top 12, but he was overtaken in the third run by the likes of the Chinese Olympic champion Su Yiming and the 17-year-old American Oliver Martin. Unfortunately for him, didn't improve his best score. So he finished down in 21st. That means he doesn't proceed there. The former junior world champion is out of that one. Great, obviously, though, to see the British flags out on the course in Livigno. And we didn't see the Canadian flag for Mark McMorris. He wasn't fit enough after his crash that we've been talking about. I think we called him a 3-time champion, getting carried away. I think we meant 3-time Olympic medalist.
That was my fault.
Yeah, we've got the slope style still to come, so we might still see Mark in that, and we will see Chema in that as well.
Big wins in the women's ice hockey for USA, Sweden, and hosts Italy, who beat France 4-1. And that was their first ever win in the Olympics, in the brand new Milano Santa Giulia Arena as well. The arena looked good. Lots of spectators, 2 tiers of spectators around it. Very, very impressive. They said it would be ready, didn't they? And it was. Okay, some of it around the outside is not looking that good, but the games are underway, and a victory for Italy as well. But Finland and Canada's match was postponed as, get this, norovirus, I'd kind of forgotten that one, is sweeping through the Finn squad. Apparently 12 players are sick or unwell, so that match has to be rescheduled until next week.
I know, but it's It reminds me of the 2017 World Athletics Championships. We had a norovirus scare there, didn't we? But it's like you say, something that's kind of disappeared for a while because we've all been talking COVID and coronavirus at these major events. It's just going to be another one of those little things, isn't it, over the next couple of days? Every journalist is going to ask every athlete, oh, have you heard anything about norovirus? You just know that the newspaper men and women out there at the moment in Milan and Cortina are desperate for someone to say, oh yeah, someone in our hotel's got norovirus, and then it's norovirus sweeps the games.
And what you've got to remember is everyone's saying in different places. So you talked about Cema in the snowboard in Livigno. That's in a different place to Cortina, which is a different place from Milan, which is where the ice hockey was. So that is worth remembering. And you gave us breaking news about the curling. In the ice skating, we've got the figure skating team event taking place as we're recording. And Lila and Lewis have already been, and they have finished third overall in the ice dance. So America were the leaders of that. They get 10 points for the team event. Then the French, the European champions, were second. They get 9 points. Great Britain then get 8 points, thanks to Lila and Lewis. 86.85 was their score for their Spice Girls routine in the ice dance. So a positive start, I think, for them. And it's a big day for Lila, the fact that she's carrying the flag.
Yeah, of course, they will be in their individual discipline really targeting that one. I think it's highly unlikely there'll be a team medal for Great Britain. But Lila and Lewis are a genuine medal contender, as we've been saying, I think probably now for over 12 months for these games. But I think what today shows is that it's probably that bronze medal that they're targeting. That's what they won at the World Championship. So, I'm not doing them a disservice when I'm saying that bronze medal is up for grabs. They've done well today. They finished in that bronze medal position, but they don't get the bronze medal because it's the team event. If the scores are replicated, obviously, when we get to their event, then I think that would be a brilliant result for them and for Team GB.
And that's the action in Milan. We'll be crossing to Livigno a bit later on in this podcast, catching up with Kirsty, Muir and Chris McCormick as they prepare for their action. Tomorrow's news today. That's coming up a bit later. But it is Olympic opening ceremonies day. I need to keep reminding myself because as we know, for the first time in these games, there are two separate opening ceremonies and two separate cauldrons as well, which will be lit for the very first time, one in Milan and one in Cortina. And despite the weather forecast earlier in the week, the weather is set fair for the big night, so you're not going to need your poncho or your big umbrella, unlike Paris. We'll be watching it, of course, the likes of Mariah, Andrea Bocelli, trying to work out who that Italian actress was in White Lotus as well. But we thought what we would do in this is help give you something to impress your friends, because we're all going to sit there and watch it. We're all going to say it's not as good as London 2012. But here's some stats and facts about the games, Team GB, the Winter Olympics in general. So I'm going to kick us off. This is the first time that we're back in Europe for 20 years in the Winter Olympics. It feels a long time.
Yeah, and obviously last time, 2006, was in Italy. But then we're going to get another one in France next time. So, we're going to have our little fill of it. This Italian actress from the White Lotus that you keep going on about, that's passing by. I watched one episode of the White Lotus. I thought it was like Benidorm without the laughs. With Johnny Vegas.
I couldn't tell you which series she's from, but she is in the opening ceremony tonight. So, first time back in Europe for 20 years. What other stats can you tell us about Milano Cortina?
Right, let's talk about Team GB. You mentioned 53 athletes, so 30 men, 23 women. We've got 11 sports entered, so that's good because that's obviously one of the things that UK sport always say is they want to get as many athletes across as many different sports and disciplines as possible. That was the big thing about Paris. Whilst the medal return was a touch disappointing, the good spin was more medals across more sports, more disciplines. 28 returning Olympians for Team GB, 5 returning medalists, and 10 world champions since Beijing as well. And, when we go back to those medal ambitions, and I heard you on Talk Sport last night, one talking about penises, which was a bit of a shock before 9 o'clock in the evening. But
I wasn't going to bring that up in the podcast, to be fair.
But you were also talking more widely about the fact that Team GB go into this games in a much better position in terms of their results that they've had across World Championships, World Cup events before Beijing. So 10 world champions since Beijing as well. Oldest person in the team is Dave Riding, who's there for his 5th games. Liam Richards is the youngest. We've got 3 teenagers, but I think the main statistic that Eve Muirhead would tell us is we've got one team.
Absolutely. So they're your Team GB stats. I mentioned earlier, 92 countries, 3,500 athletes. But Milano Cortina itself, there are 6 clusters of sport. So it's called Milano Cortina, but you've also got to add in Predazzo, where the cross-country and the biathlon are taking place. Livigno, where you've got the FreeSki and snowboarding taking place. And then Bormio as well, where the men's alpine, so the Super G, the downhill, the slalom, we mentioned Dave Riding. We'll see him later on in the competition. So it is spread out right across northern Italy. And I think that will be a challenge for journalists like yourself who will be out there, and I'll be out there next week, and it's going to be difficult to cover all the games. But also, I do think that the world has moved on in the last 6 years. And yes, we'll do stuff remotely. And yes, we will do things on video. But ultimately, if it looks okay on TikTok and Insta and on the telly, that's what the IOC and organisers want, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think they want to make games as well that are sustainable for the future. And I think that's the key thing, certainly for the Winter Games going forward. And we're going to see more and more of these spread out games, I think, because it's just simply not right, not good to try and build everything in one place. You think like Sochi 2014, where they kind of just basically built this like Winter Olympic Disneyland for rich Russians on
Putinland.
He said that, not me. And I just don't think that, for most countries in the modern world that's right, sustainable, and the thing to do. So this is the way forward, and I imagine that the games which are coming to France next, which are going to be in the French Alps, are going to be similar. They're going to have a similar footprint, because you're not going to build big arenas for things like figure skating and speed skating and ice hockey in the French Alps, are you? But why not utilise the ones that maybe already exist, even if that is going to be a 2, 3, 4 hour journey away?
Absolutely. Just on Team GB as well, we've won 17 Olympic medals since 1996, and our best ever performance is 5 medals, and we've done that twice. Sochi, 2014, as you mentioned, and Pyeongchang as well, which was 4 years later in 2018. But of course, in Beijing, we only won
2, and both in curling, a gold and a silver. I mean, terrific medals, and we could win another couple of curling medals at these games. Certainly, the way Bruce and Jen have started in the mixed doubles, and we've said all along they're contenders, and certainly Bruce's team as well, coming in to the men's event. Again, they're real medal contenders as well. So the ambition is 4 to 8. That's what the UK Sport said. So 5 would equal those best performances. If they're at the top end of that range, it would be a record-breaking performance. There's 116 medal events in the games, 16 disciplines. And so, 8 is ambitious, be a good return. I think a lot of things would need to go right, and not a lot will go wrong for that. I think if they are where they were in Beijing, then I think what's the investment? 30 plus million.
32.5.
Yeah, 32.5 million. I think if they are where they were in Beijing, I think that would be some questions to be asked.
Yeah, especially as I read an article in the Times actually yesterday, Michael, and it said that it was an art correspondent, and he says music orchestras around the country don't get any national funding, don't get anything from the public purse. And then you look at curling, which we've mentioned, and the success that we've had in that, but how much money goes into curling in itself. And they were making the point that, the Scottish Symphony Orchestra, for example, has 60 members, but they don't get any money from the government, in effect, from the taxpayers, while curling costs them $600,000 for every player.
Yeah. And we've got a shrinking pot, and orchestras and theatre and the arts are supremely important for some people. That will be their sport, and that will be what they need for their good mental well-being, in the same way that sport is needed for good mental well-being. And then you've got the potholes in the roads, and you've got the beds piling up in the corridors in the hospitals, and everything else that's going on. And there's only so many tax pounds that come into the exchequer, and they have to make those tough choices. And for whatever reason, since the lottery came into being in the mid to late 90s, sport has been prioritised, as has the arts. The arts has had its piece of the pie, but there is, I think, still very much an appetite to continue to fund elite sport in this country, to provide those two things, those big medal moments that kind of bring the nation together, and to continue to bring major events here as well.
And I don't know that many people know that, yes, they know the lottery funds sport, and as you say, it funds the arts as well. But what I don't think people know is that sport is funded by the Treasury, as in there is a certain amount of cash that also comes from the Treasury, not just lottery, even though they always say thank you to the lottery, etc., and I'm sure they will with this one. Just on Team GB, so another couple of stats for you. No GB athlete has ever won 2 medals at an Olympic Games.
So that could change this time. We've already mentioned, haven't we, Bruce Mowat or Jen Dodds. Could both win a couple of curling medals. Skeleton guys, yeah, because there's a new event. We've got a mixed relay team skeleton event. We've also got luge doubles back and dual moguls now as well. There's also a mixed team alpine ski event and a ski mountaineering discipline now as well. No Team GB interest in the ski mountaineering. I'm still banging the drum to bring the ski ballet back.
And dual moguls, I was talking to Matteo Jennison, who is the Team GB representative in the men's moguls, but the dual moguls is when you're bumping down and they're twisting their knees and they're doing flips and they're coming down the bumps, but dual is against somebody else, so you're racing them. And I think, that's going to be a real, like when we saw kind of snowball cross and ski cross come into the games, it's going to be a real game changer for that kind of discipline.
Yeah, and that goes back to what you were saying earlier about the IOC creating an event that works on TV, because everyone understands that head-to-head. We see it, don't we, at the Summer Games with the BMX and everything else. It's exciting. It's good to watch. And we will obviously see the likes of Charlotte Banks and Hugh Nightingale do that as well. So Charlotte had a disappointing Beijing. I think a lot of us thought that she was going to win a medal there. She again got great chances. They've got a great chance of winning medals here. Charlotte could win a couple of medals at these games as well. But that head-to-head is exciting, as we've seen in the past.
One more final stat for me. It's my favourite stat in ice hockey, because the NHL are coming back. You always think the Americans are huge. They dominate this sport. No, mainly the Russians and the Canadians dominate men's ice hockey as well. Women's ice hockey is Canada and America. But my favourite stat is that Team USA have only won the gold medal in men's ice hockey the same time and the same number as Great Britain. And that is once.
Once, yeah. That is a great stat. Yeah, we're super excited. And some good stats there. And hopefully people have been making notes, and tonight during some of those maybe more ponderous moments of the opening ceremony, when I might be looking for the concession stands perhaps, you can then impress your friends and family by pulling out a few of those, especially the ice hockey one.
Tomorrow's news today and our other news from the games. We cover the Olympics all the time, not every 4 years. It's all coming up. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Marcus Wyatt, skeleton athlete with Team GB. You're listening to Anything But Footy with the latest on the Olympics.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Anything But Footy and Milano Daily, and tomorrow's news today, our TNT slot, if you like, the games proper getting underway on Saturday, although there's been so much sport in the last few days. I wish I'd just start it early. Let's just do 2.5 weeks. Let's call it as it is. But one of the big hopes for Team GB to kick off the big games with a big win is Kirsty Muir, because she goes in the FreeSki slopestyle qualifying at the snow park in Livigno. And I caught up with her and Chris McCormick just days ago from Livigno.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we're kind of still exploring things. Got to check out the venue today. We got to go through the slope course, and the course is looking really good. It's cool having all the venues together. The hotel's cool. Everything's really nice, and enjoying exploring it all.
And very different for you, Kirsty, from Beijing, I assume.
Yeah, I think there's less less sports in our area, so it's slightly less people, but at the same time, we're allowed to mingle. We don't have to have masks on. We can go see people. So it's a lot nicer and a bit more sociable.
Chris, how are you finding it?
Really nice. I mean, to be honest, coming into this, obviously it's my first games. I had heard from some people that, just be prepared. It's the Olympics. Everything's really, tight. You're going to feel a bit like this, but I'm having a great time. Yeah, no, it's been brilliant so far.
Does it help having both of you there? You can kind of share ideas and an understanding of the snow. I understand there's a lot of snow up there.
Yeah, and we had a little bit of a dump this morning as well, so there's a bit of fresh on the course. I think the main one I'm excited about is I can just follow him through the jumps for speed. I'm gonna make you do it. No, I'm just kidding.
Jamie does first,
yeah.
and I'll follow Jamie.
Yeah, no, I think I'm really stoked that Chris is here. I'm excited that I've got like a buddy in the slope and big air. Yeah, I'm just stoked that you can be here.
Thank you. Stoked to be here. And yeah, super nice to have someone to ski with. And we'd also like to take the opportunity to shout out our other teammates, James Pouch and Tom Greenway, who sadly aren't here, but also fantastic skiers in their own right, and miss them.
I know, missing them a lot.
And your success, Kirsty, continues. The X Games, that was pretty special.
Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy weekend. It wasn't bad in the end. We had 2 days training, and then in the end I kind of have 2 days of not doing anything because on the Saturday we were supposed to have our big air competition, but it got postponed for the weather. So on the Sunday I had 2 competitions in one day, which I've never had before. And it was quite crazy because I did the slopestyle in the morning and came away with the win, and was on such a high, and then I had to kind of settle myself and be like, come back to normal, like please, and then do the big air. So overall, I was really happy and excited with my skiing.
Chris, what's it like having such a inspirational person to look up to slightly?
I think you'd use the right word, inspirational. It's great to see what Kirsty is achieving, and
does it make you want it?
Yeah, of course. I'm also very realistic about my own ability. I'm gonna come here and put on the absolute best performance that I can. But yeah, absolutely, it's inspirational watching Kirsty.
Chris does some tricks I couldn't imagine doing right now, like switch 18s and all that. I'm like, I couldn't imagine doing that. So you got to give yourself some credit.
A couple of serious questions to finish. Firstly, have you had any pizza in the athletes' village? Have you eaten anything else but pizza?
Pizza and pasta has been kind of the go-to. I think I had 6 slices of pizza over the day yesterday. I haven't had any today yet though, so that'll be for dinner.
We actually figured out the best spot to sit in the canteen where you can just basically turn around and pivot like that and grab a slice, and then you don't have to get
It
up.
was right behind me last night. It was so good.
And Chris, you kind of touched on it. What does it mean being at the Olympics, your first Olympics? And then Kirsty, what does it mean being at your second?
For me, I'm just really proud to be here. I've put almost a whole life's work into this, and I feel like at this point I'm really happy that I've proven to myself that I'm in the mix. I'm in this kind of top group of skiers in the world that get to go and represent their country at the Olympics, and now just fully focused on going out there and putting in the best performance that I can.
I think for me it's very special to have made it to my second one. As I say, this one's quite different to the last, and I'm really excited for new experiences here. And just overall really excited. I mean, there's quite a few different people in the team this time to last time, so again, that'll make it new experiences for me as well. And overall, just can't wait for a really cool trip.
Kirsty and Chris talking to John. So tomorrow, set the alarms, 9:30, FreeSki slopestyle. So this is taking place in the Livigno snow park. And we are going to see Kirsty Muir in women's qualifying. So they'll have 1 and then 2 qualifying sessions. The other name to watch out for there is the silver medalist from Beijing 2022 from the US, Eileen Gu, as well. So we'll be keeping our eye on Kirsty. We'll be watching Eileen as well. And then Chris, who we also heard, he's going to be in his qualifying. So again, 2 sessions of qualifying at the Livigno Snowpark in that FreeSki slopestyle. And he's going to be on at about 1 o'clock. So have that with your Saturday lunch, if you like. And we are going to see some other Team GB athletes in action tomorrow. Anna Price, spoke to her recently. She's going to be in the cross-country skiing. So it's the 10K and the 10K skiathlon tomorrow. So I don't think we're going to see Anna troubling the medals, as she told us on the podcast recently, but she's a new name for Team GB. And of course, the curling continues as well. That's the thing about the games. I remember the first games I really covered for TalkSport, I think was 2018. And I remember I used to do the late show, the Sports Bar show, which was Andy Goldstein at the time. And every evening he'd be like, right, let's get the latest. Is the curling still going on, Michael? And I saw Andy at a Livigno, a TalkSport Livigno a few weeks back. And that was the first thing he said to me. He went, what are you doing here? Surely there's still curling going on somewhere for you to watch.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, because Bruce and Jen will be in action 9:05 Saturday morning against Canada, and then back in action against the US at 1:05.
Yeah, it could be crucial games because both of those teams are in form. Elsewhere on day one, there are gold medals to be won. That's the difference. There is sport before the opening ceremony, but you don't win a medal until day one. So men's downhill final at the Stilvio Ski Centre in Bormio in the Alpine skiing. That's 10:30 in the morning. You've got ski jumping, Matthew, that's my son. Michael mentioned earlier. Thankfully, Matthew didn't mention about ski jumping because I would be worried about that.
Matthew has been on the podcast, though, hasn't he?
He has.
With Harry.
Gladiator, Nitro.
Yeah, with Nitro. That's what I was trying to come up with his proper name. Not Harry Okini Siroti. Nitro, his real name.
Ski jumping is the women's normal hill individual, so no need to look at the ski suits.
Can I just say there's nothing normal about that hill? I know they call it the normal hill, but no, there's nothing normal about that
or ski jumping
or that discipline. No. And if you were listening earlier, you would have heard me mention appendages, which is what John was talking about on the radio last night on TalkSport, and that is a story about ski jumping. If you want to know, go and Google it.
Yeah, I'm not going to explain it. And as we mentioned earlier, of course, no Chema Maze Brown in the men's snowboard big air final, and that's at 6:30 tomorrow night. So other news away from these games, British cycling topped the medal table with 7 gold, 4 silver and 2 bronze medals at the European Track Cycling Championships in Turkey. On the final day, Matt Richardson won gold in the men's keirin, adding to his sprint title. There was silver for Katie Archibald and Anna Morris in the women's Madison. And it's also been confirmed that those European champions we've been talking about in the last few days, Emma Finnegan, Anna Morris, Matt Richardson, Joe Truman, all will take to the velodrome at the National Cycling Centre in Manchester later this month for the Lloyd's National Track Championships, and we have been told there are still some tickets available.
Now, changes are afoot to qualify for the canoe slalom and the canoe sprint events for the LA 2028 Olympics. We'll start talking a lot more about LA on February the 23rd. The International Canoe Federation has issued new guidelines and a new system aimed at delivering clearer storylines in the build-up to LA. So it's all about the storytelling. Actually, slalom canoeing is going to be taking place in Oklahoma in 2028, which is, I think we looked it up, it was a 14-hour drive, isn't it, from LA? So I'm not sure how your canoe commentary career is going to continue if you want to be in LA, but we'll work that out. Over 9 competitions, including World Cups and 2 World Championships this year and in 2027. So a maximum of the 5 best results, keep up, the highest points of each athlete will be counted to define the final Olympic rankings. Quota spots will be given to nations, but only 1 in each category. That's the C1, the K1 and the kayak cross.
Which is always so difficult for, of course, Paddle UK, who have so many great paddlers, but you can only have 1 from each nation.
And it's why someone like Joe Clark can be an Olympic champion, not appear at the next Olympic Games, and then be an Olympic finalist at the Games after that, because it's just a battle to get in the team. I mean, Paddle UK have that, boxing have that as well, where obviously you can only get 1 in any weight category as well. So I think with those sports in particular, just to get on the team and get to the Games is just an unbelievable achievement.
But we are looking ahead to LA, but we're focusing on Milan. Milan is here. It's opening ceremonies night tonight. Check out our socials. Michael will be there at the San Siro, so keep an eye on that. And yeah, we'll find out when he goes to the concession stand, which bit he's bored by. That is to come. Check out everything on our website and the Olympic music playlist on Spotify will be updated once we know some of the tunes that we hear in that opening ceremony. This is Milano Daily from Anything But Footy. May I wish you a safe journey to Milan.
Yeah, next time we speak, I will be there, and I'm cutting it fine because I land and I've got to get to that San Siro stadium. I might miss the beginning.
I'm Elias Smeeding, Team GB long track speed skater. You're listening to the latest on the Winter Olympics from Anything But Footy.